I'll call this meeting of the Blackhawk County Board of Supervisors to order. Roll call, please. Mr. Veeder.
Leyland,
Here.
Little,
Here.
Jelka,
Here.
White,
Here.
Schwartz.
Here. Please join us in a moment of silence to reflect on today's actions. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll take a motion on the agenda as received or amended.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed? The agenda is approved. Next will be public comments. Is there anybody from the public that wishes to speak to the board at this time? I don't see anybody in the room or online. So we'll move on to claims and payments.
Morning, James.
Good morning, Board.
Morning.
This week's expenditures total to $351,915.36. Of that, $75,130.72 are secondary roads. $34,939.53 is maintenance, and $132,240.80 is the sheriff. Everything looks normal.
I entertain a motion to.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please. Mr. Veeder.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
Jelka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes. The resolution is approved. Next, we'll receive project updates from department heads and elected officials. Morning, Kath.
Good morning, Board. Kathy Nicholas.
Good morning.
I've told you in the past that I wanted to keep you updated on impacts from COVID to the road use tax fund account, particularly when we wish to spend some money for capital purchases for FY21. So I wanted to run through a short presentation this morning based on some information that we received from the Iowa DOT on August 24th of 2020. So this is the most current information from the Iowa DOT to cities and counties based on what's the impacts to the road use tax fund. Next slide, please. So as you can imagine, there's really two primary sources of revenue that go into the road use tax fund, and then the Iowa DOT distributes it to cities and counties. Of course, the first one would be the traffic, the amount of traffic using the roads. The DOT has put together this graph. You can see that the graph spans from early March until, I believe, mid-August. And the different colors represent different types of roads. For example, there's the interstate highways, there's rural highways, there's urban highways, and then there would be local cities and streets. And you can see that in all cases, traffic was down substantially way back in the March timeframe, April timeframe, but now, of course, it has picked up. And that peak, I believe, was the right after the July 4th holiday. So traffic has continued to stabilize, has come back up. And of course, this is primarily passenger car traffic that we're talking about. Truck traffic really never dropped from past years' levels. So all that equates to, of course, people purchasing gasoline, and that's how we receive our funds, is through gas tax. So that has continued to make a good recovery. Next slide, Kim. And then another large component of the road use tax fund would be people purchasing vehicles, whether they be used vehicles or new vehicles, and then, of course, licensing fees. This graph the DOT put together shows new and used car purchases from that same time frame. And as we go further to the right on the graph, you can see that the purchases have come back up. There was quite a downturn at the beginning of COVID and then into April because there was some lag in people actually being able to get their purchases recorded, being able to show that they had purchased those through the treasurer's office. So as you can see, late in the late August, which is the most recent information, there has been a significant rebound. Next slide, Kim. So as a result of that, the DOT is able to estimate how much cities and counties will be receiving through the end of this year, even projecting into the end of this fiscal year, into next June. So we put together this graph here, or this chart. It shows our last 3 years are 2021, 2020, and 2019, those years of road use tax funds, how much we've received every month. And then over there in the left column under 2021, those are the estimated numbers from the DOT. The green numbers are the estimated numbers. The DOT is showing a reduction of about 10% in October, and then an 8% reduction from November of this year until June of 2021. Next slide, Kim. So these are a few comments we put together based on that memo from the Iowa DOT. They specifically had some information about what the allocation would be in September. Our allocation to Blackhawk County was actually higher than they were anticipating. They anticipated a statewide average increase of 15%, 2 counties. Ours was actually 30% higher. And then down here in red, we've underlined that the DOT is estimating an 8% reduction in revenue through June of 2021. So next slide, Kim. We also I want to give you information about how the last 2 fiscal years, our actual budget has compared to, that is what we've spent compared to where we are in the first quarter. At the end of the first quarter, you can see that at the end of the first quarter in fiscal year 19, we had spent about 26% of our budgeted amount. In 2020, it was 24%. And then this year in FY21, as of last month, we have spent approximately 20% of our budgeted amount. If you include salaries, it's approximately 21%. So I'm giving you all this information because we would like to move ahead and purchase some more capital items that were budgeted. Next slide, Kim. Here are the items we would like to purchase in the next 4 to 5 weeks in the month of October, early November. These were budgeted. We would like to purchase 2 pickup trucks, a 1/2 ton and a 3/4 ton truck. These would be used at our Longfellow shop. They would be replacing trucks that are currently there. One truck, we put a sprayer in it, and our roadside manager goes out and sprays, for example, weeds, that type of thing. That's done during the summer months with that vehicle. The other vehicle, the 3/4 ton truck, that's primarily used to cut brush, to pick up garbage. We have to go out and respond to calls when there's debris or furniture or any type of trash in the roadside ditches. We'll take the truck out and have to go pick that up and then haul it over to the landfill. So those vehicles would primarily be used at Longfellow. It's time that we replace 3 CAD computers in our normal rotation. These, of course, are used in the office here to do primarily our CAD design for all of our plans. We would like to replace 3 of those at a cost of approximately $11,000. And then we would also need to continue to update our tablets and our laptops, primarily because some of them still have the Windows 7 on them, and working with IT, we need to get those replaced so that they have Windows 10 operating systems on them. We would like to purchase a disc mower, and that would be used on the gravel road system. We have 3 of them. They get rotated around the county. They are used throughout the summer to mow the ditches. One of them is broken, and those machines are very expensive to repair. This one is an aged machine. It's time to just replace it with a new mower. And then finally, we would like to purchase hot seas, hot water pressure washers for 2 locations, at LaPorte shop and then the Elk Run shop. And all this totals $126,000. We would like to move ahead and start getting quotes, getting estimates for these. None of these require us to open the bids here in the board meeting because they're under $100,000. So that's the way I'd like to proceed. over the next 4 to 5 weeks, we'll submit 1 or 2 of these for every agenda item, or excuse me, every agenda in the next coming month, depending on when we can get the information out to the vendors. Would you like to ask any questions, or can I respond to any feedback, or? That's, I think it is.
I'd like to see you proceed with it, Kathy. So I think you've made good cases for the information back in budget time as well as now that it's something needed. And I think even seeing that the funds have increased
Yeah.
that we expected and anticipated, I think we'd be safe then to go forward. So thank you.
agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I appreciate the update and your due diligence here.
Okay.
Why would you why would you buy a new truck and put a sprayer in it? Why wouldn't you take an older truck, move that over, and you put the sprayer in that? Because you know it's gonna get damaged with the chemicals and stuff. Why ruin a new truck?
I will get some more information for you on that, Craig.
And the Hotseas, I've had a problem with them ever since Tony got the first one, I think, years ago. I don't see any clean trucks or cars around the county. Our trucks are always filthy. And I realize we use them on a daily basis, but it's wise to clean. If we got Hotseas, why aren't we cleaning the trucks up at the end of the day?
So they're primarily used for, particularly in the winter when we're out placing sand and salt. The guys are coming back into the shops at the end of the day and they're washing the vehicles. These Hotseas have hot water that really do a much better job than, for example, at LaPorte City shop right now, we just have a hose. So there's water pressure that comes out of a regular hose is all we have to clean the trucks in LaPorte City. After a snow event, when we've been sanding and salting all day, it's just much more effective to use something with hot water that has much more pressure to spray that. And then we can put a neutralizer onto the vehicle that eliminates some of the chemical reactions due to the salt. But I can get more information on the chemical tank in the back of the truck for you, Craig.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy, I do have a couple of questions.
Yes.
First off, I thought we were running all the computers through the IT office.
Do you want to take them?
Tom, the reason why the engineers' machines come out of theirs is because it's the secondary road fund, so it's different than 001, it's the 002, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Kathy, the other question on the pressure washers, you mean on our various shops, we never had pressure washers there before, just a hose?
LaPorte City and Hudson, we have not. Yeah.
So all these years, you've just been using a hose to clean off heavy equipment?
I believe that's true. I can't speak for a number of years ago, but since I've been here, that's all I've been known that we've been using.
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other department heads or elected officials?
Good morning, Board. This is Yolando of the Blackhawk County Veterans Affairs. Just want to give you a quick update. Last Wednesday at our commission meeting, the commissioners voted to stand up an advisory group. This is just dealing with 2 of the commissioners and the director, and to include some of the service organizations. Another way of trying to promote outreach within the service organizations and then bring in so that this office can become a one-stop shop. So all information about veteran activities will come from this office. So we're looking to expand that, reach out to all of our different service organizations within Blackhawk County and get a buy-in from them. Additionally, that Thursday, we did have a very successful, what I call very successful stand down. Out of the 45 veterans that we sent letters to, we had 21 of them come through and get various items and various assistance. And so we consider that a success. And for the 20 or so that didn't show, we're going to reach out to them to see if it was more of a transportation issue or they just didn't need the assistance at that particular time. And then lastly, I just wanted to show you that October 13, 1775, the Continental Congress established the United States Navy. So today's date, we are celebrating our 245th birthday. of the world's greatest Navy, and take my hat off to myself and all those who served in the Navy on this special day. So again, today's day is Navy Day. That's all I have. Standing by to address any of your questions. I did send the slides and the numbers out, and if you had any other questions, I'm standing by to address them.
Very good. Any questions, board?
No, but congratulations.
Yes.
And
Yes.
thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you, Yolanda. Any other department heads or elected officials? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to the minutes approved from the October 6th meeting.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion or questions? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, the minutes are approved. We've got a hearing coming up later on in the meeting, but first we'll move on to the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Is there anything in the consent agenda anybody wishes to discuss? Hearing none, roll call please, Mr. Veeder.
Little,
Yes.
Jelka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes. The resolution is approved. Next, under contracts and agreements, this is a resolution of the data agreement between Blackhawk County and the University of Iowa for the use of geographic information systems data be approved as recommended by Kim Veeder, Information Technology Director.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Kim?
Yes, Kim Veeder, IT Director. It's been a while since we've had one of these. The University of Iowa, UNI, and Iowa State have all asked for data in the past. This grad student is going to do a study on flood damage analysis. He's worked on Johnson County, Polk County, and Lynn counties, and so when you get this data. Now, traditionally, they're supposed to send us a report. Sometimes that happens, sometimes they don't, but I always ask that. So it's just releasing our data for them to do this project.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, roll call please, Mr. Veeder.
Jelka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes, the resolution is approved. Next, under other business, this is a motion that the personnel requisition for network specialist full-time in the Information Technology Department be approved as recommended by Kim Veeder, Information Technology Director.
So moved.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, the motion carries. Next is a motion to authorize the board chair to sign an engagement agreement with Neumeister Law Firm for representation in the Iowa Voter Alliance suit.
So moved.
Is it moved? Is there a second? All right, I will second. Do you have any discussion or questions? Or Mike?
In a nutshell, this is an agreement to utilize counsel that has been retained by CTCL relative to the suit that's been filed against the county for receipt of grant funds from CTCL. At this point, I don't see there's always possibility for a conflict of development. I think it makes sense to take advantage of counsel that's paid for. The two defendants are both counties. They are not CTCL. And the Neumeister Law Firm has experience representing others in politics as well. So I think it makes sense to get them on board, especially with the short time frame we have with the deadline coming up this Thursday and a hearing coming up 1 week from today. And I have been in contact daily with the firm and the two attorneys that would be representing us there. So, and will continue to be so.
And this is your recommendation?
Yes, correct.
What's our cost?
Cost to the county is nothing.
Or do we have any further discussion or questions? All right, has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? The motion carries. It is now 9:19 a.m. This is a hearing on the issuance of not to exceed $10 million of general obligation bonds.
Motion to receive and place on file proof of publication.
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Motion to close the hearing after oral written comments are received.
Are, are there any written comments, Mr. Veeder?
No, sir.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, motion carries.
Okay.
Next is resolution that the board does hereby institute proceeding and taking, I'm sorry.
I think before we do the
Uh,
resolution.
I was expecting you to ask for oral statements.
Oh, yes, I apologize. Were there any oral statements?
James says.
I was just, James Berry, Finance Director, I just wanted to point out that we are doing this, the 10 million only. We plan to sell 14 million, but we are doing the 10 million only because this is over and beyond what we had done for a public hearing during the budget session. So we have already taken care of the 4 million, and that was back in March. So now we are doing the increase of 10 million. And then if you'll see on the next one, that is, you'll see that we're gonna advertise for 14 million. So there's a difference there. But again, this is just for the solid waste as well as the refundings that we have.
Thank you, James.
Yeah, you
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? I'll now take a vote to close the oral hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, the motion carries. Next is a resolution that the board does hereby institute proceedings and taking additional action for the authorization and issuance in the manner required by law not to exceed $10 million of general obligation bonds for the foregoing essential county purposes.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Been moved and second. Any further discussion or questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 It's a resolution.
Resolution.
I'm sorry. Roll call, please, Mr. Veeder.
White,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
Jelka,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes. The resolution carries. Next, we'll move on to item D. This is a resolution to direct the advertisement for the sale of $14 million, amount subject to change per terms of offering general obligation bonds, Series 2020, improving electronic bidding procedures and official statement.
Second.
It's been moved and second. Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please, Mr. Veeder.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
Jelka,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes, the resolution is approved. Next is under item E, this is discussion possible board action regarding the posting of Cedar Valley Promise agendas.
They contacted me to ask if they could post their agenda anywhere in the courthouse, so I forwarded it to Grant. Then we communicated with James, and then I had individual communications with different board members. And Tom advised me we have a policy that addresses this, and we don't want to be filling our boards with the agendas of all these nonprofits. But I thought it'd be good to leave it on the agenda so we could discuss it and that all nonprofits know that they can just post it on their website. They can find other places. It's not statutorily required that they need to post it at the courthouse. So I was going to contact them today after the meeting to let them know that that's what they can do, because they did move their office. They're doing everything virtual now. They don't have a brick and mortar building, so they were just worried about where they could post their agenda.
So it's really a transition of staff, perhaps, and location and that type of thing that brought this to our attention.
Correct, yes. And they are the gatekeeper for so many funds, for so many different organizations. So with the board members I talked to, we agreed this would be good to keep it on the agenda, discuss it publicly, and make the public aware.
Yeah, their most logical place is putting it on their website.
All right, thank
I
you.
will advise them of such after the meeting.
Yeah.
All right, so no action needed today.
No.
Okay, thank you. Next, we will move on to item F. This is discuss county preparedness and possible updates for COVID-19. Nafisa did call me this morning just to let me know that she couldn't be in the meeting today, but she did send the update over the weekend, just regarding that there was we had saw that kind of 3-day surge of 50+ cases each day, and that it was community spread and not just limited to Waterloo and Cedar Falls, but included a number of the smaller communities as well. So just encourage the public to remain on guard and practice caution. Is there anything else related to COVID?
Well, another thing cropped up. I've been reading this Great Barrington Declaration, and I encourage everybody to Google that. And it talks about the economies, and we need to take a focused approach in our response to COVID, so that it'll have less of a negative impact on our economies.
Okay, anything else with this item? Any?
Just a thought on, Rory, how many masks we got left? Probably a ton, don't we?
Yeah, we just ordered another 1,000.
Okay, yeah. So I was gonna say, when they run out, don't get any more. There's more of them in the parking lot than, or the second they get out the door, they take them off and throw them. So if they wanna come in the courthouse, they can supply their own.
Well,
That's what a lot of other places are doing now.
well, that would
Yeah.
require action. I mean, we took action to say that we would make them available.
Well,
and I think we need to
I'm
keep
just
doing
making a
that.
statement, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
You're not here to see them every day. There's 10 or 15 of them within an hour or hour and a half time period that you walked out behind 3 people the other day, all 3 of them flipped them. I said, you want to pick them up? And they just kept right on walking.
Yeah, no, I mean, I see them in every neighborhood I go to and every store, and it's unfortunate, but we still just need to make it easy for people to wear them when they come to this building. But, any other reports or information from the board?